Okay, everybody, sometimes you just don't know where to start, and that is the story today. We're going back to 1984 to take a look at a semi-forgotten gem called C.H.U.D, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. Or is that what it really means? We'll get to that later. Anyway, before, as always, and once again, we are going to do what we do best, and that is go to the trailer.
Beneath the city of New York are living catacombs, an endless maze of subterranean tunnels, unfit for anything human, unauthorized for anything experimental.
Hold it! There's something moving up ahead in the tunnel!
And unlikely to bring anyone down there. So, they're coming up. C.H.U.D. C.H.U.D. Check your basement and your bathroom. Keep off the street and try to hide. But remember, the dark is their place. The night is their time. And tomorrow, the only things living in the city of New York will be C.H.U.D. C.H.U.D. Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers. C.H.U.D. They're not staying down there anymore.
Okay, this motion picture was directed by Douglas Cheek. Never heard of him? You'll find out why. Really, he was mostly an editor on stuff. He was an editor of TV shows. He was the guy who edited like Alien Autopsy and Evidence of the Paranormal. And he did some directing stuff like, you know, the Peter and Paul and the Christian Revolution and the Vegetable Soup TV series from the 70s. But other than that, this guy, his career, it is what it is. You'll get it. You'll watch this movie. It'll be abundantly clear. Okay, everybody, if this motion picture has one thing, it is star power. So let's get going to the cast. Playing George is John Hurd. Now, we all know John Hurd. I mean, he had a long career, a cool career in Hollywood. He's in one of my favorite all-time flicks ever, Cat People. But he was in a bunch of other stuff, too. We're talking he was in Big. He was in Home Alone, The Guardian, Awakenings, Snake Eyes, Beaches, The Seventh Sign. I mean, he was in a shitload of stuff, everybody, and he was always good in everything he was in. So, he's in this, and that gives it a little bit more credibility. Okay, next up, playing AJ, or affectionately known as the Reverend, is Daniel Stern. Again, we just covered him just not too long ago in Leviathan. We're going to go over his shit again because he deserves it, because his career is fucking kick-ass, and he's a really good actor. Anyway, again, he was in one of my all-time favorite motion pictures, Breaking Away, but again, in a bunch of other shit. We're talking about City Slickers, and Home Alone, and Diner, and Blue Thunder, and Leviathan was, shit, I just said that. And Born in East L.A., come on, man. He was in a bunch of shit. Daniel Stern, you know him, you love him. It's just the way it is. He was never a Hollywood pretty boy, but he rose to the top of the ranks because he could do his craft. And that's all that counts. Let's keep going. Okay, playing Bosch. And oh, God, later on we're going to have fun with that. Bosch. Anyway, it's Christopher Curry. Now, he had a really, really, really kind of cool career. I mean, you watch this movie, you're like, did this guy go on to anything? But yes, he did. He was in stuff like Sully and Flags of Our Fathers and City of Ghosts and Red Dragon. And he was on TV and shit like Murder, She Wrote and Wings and L.A. Law and Quantum Leap and Crossing Jordan and a bunch of things. So he's out there, been around, did his thing, was in this. It's all that matters. Let's keep going. We got to get this done. Okay, playing Lauren was Kim Geist. She was around in the scene back in the day. You might remember, you might not, but you might remember. I mean, she was in shit like Brazil. She was in Manhunter and Throw Mama from the Train and The Hiding Place. And she was on TV and shit, you know what I mean, since back in the day. I mean, we're talking Touched by an Angel. We're talking Diagnosis Earth. But I don't think she's done anything in like the last 20 years. I mean, she's just like fallen off the radar. I haven't seen her pop up in anything. Who the hell knows what happened to her? Don't know what to say, but she's gone. She was here. Not anymore. Let's keep going. Okay, and also popping up in this motion picture in just little teeny small roles that I'm not even going to blow out of proportion or anything like that. But they were in it, and it was kind of fun seeing them pop in it. You're talking Jon Polito. You're talking John Goodman. You're talking Jay Thomas. All popping up in little goofball roles before they were anybody of any note in any kind of real way, I would imagine. I mean, it's just, you know, it was before Roseanne TV show, and before Jay Thomas was, I think, on Cheers or whatever the hell he used to pop up on. This is way back before all that kind of stuff. So they were in it, and you see their faces, and you just say, son of a bitch, how'd they get here? Okay, everybody, I'm going to go into the story of this. The story is just convoluted and crazy, and it is what it is, but I'm going to cover it really fast and get to the point. There's a bunch of people, and they all happen to live in the same shitty-ass part of town. Unbelievably shitty. I mean, we're talking the captain of the police force, his wife, a famous photographer who now is kind of pulled out of the scene a little bit, his wife. I mean, you've got all kinds of homeless people, and everybody packed into an urban environment that is just truly beyond shitty. For some reason, all these old people and all these homeless people, well, the old and the homeless are kind of the same thing. Anyway, they start disappearing left and right. There's a high number of them just disappearing off the face of the earth. Where are they going? Nobody knows. Well, Captain Bosch, he gets heavily involved in this because his wife, one night while walking the dog, and that's how the movie starts out, by the way, just disappears. Well, we know she didn't just disappear, but she's up, she's gone, she's missing. And all of a sudden, he can't find his wife, and all these other missing people reports come in, and it's all within the same block or two in the city. And nobody knows why. Well, people do know why. And nobody understands what's going on. Well, some people do understand. And that's the story of this. You got Bosch on the lookout to find out what the true story is. You got AJ the Reverend, and he is just out there wondering why his homeless are disappearing. And you got George the photographer, who just happens to live in a fucking building right on top of where all this shit is going on. So, all of them swirl into this story. All of them find out that the NRC, these people that do shit with chemical waste, is completely involved in this, and there's stuff going on underneath the city that shouldn't be going on, and there's waste being deposited there that shouldn't be deposited there, and the people are messing with it, and they are turning into cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. And sometimes they gotta come up to feed. Okay, everybody, this is the part of this shit show we've been waiting for. The summation. This movie is utterly fucking ridiculous. I mean, it is just so heavy-handed with everything that takes place in it. The environment is so littered with urban decay, it's almost comedic. It's almost comic bookish. I mean, there's so much graffiti. Everything is so dirty. Everything is so run down. You're like, nobody, let alone a police captain, and let alone a famous photographer, would ever want to really be there. I mean, let's face it. And, you know, the photographer's wife, she's a model, for fuck's sake. I mean, none of this makes any sense why they're all there. At all. The people, the places, again, heavy-handed. Everybody's walking around dirty or filthy, beyond dirt and filth. I see homeless people. I don't know any of them that look this dirty and filthy 24/7. And the people that take care of the homeless look just as bad as the homeless. Again, very heavy-handed. Every character in this motion picture is done in an extremely heavy-handed way. I mean, Jon Hurd is just an asshole in most of the movie. Not even just a normal asshole. He's an asshole. AJ is like this fucking hippie type of guy that's taking care of these homeless people, who's excited about everything. But really excited. The bad guys, you'll get to them in the movie, you'll know who the fuck I mean, are almost comedically bad. And let's get into Bosch. The acting in that role is literally fucking comedic. I can see on his face he was just reading the script 3 minutes before he would walk into every scene and just belt out this stuff with, so, what are we going to do right now? What's going on? None of this makes any sense. And this motion picture is loaded with unbelievable amounts of plot holes. I mean, shit that just doesn't make sense from left to right. One minute, you have a girl in the shower, and she's taking a shower, and she sticks something in the drain because the drain gets clogged, and blood flies out of the drain all over her, and she's like, ah, ah, ah. And 2 seconds later, she's cleaned off, she's putting on her clothes, and she sits down and starts watching TV, as though none of that fucking shit even took place. And this motion picture is littered with stuff like this. Bosch makes no sense. His fucking wife is missing. Through most of the movie, he's just walking around like, you know, she's been gone a few days, the dog's missing, she disappeared in this fucking shithole of a town that we live in, and he's not reacting to it, he's just going about his day, everything's normal, and then he would just occasionally drop in, and my wife's missing. It's like, the wife you've been showing no fucking emotion for this whole goddamn motion picture? I mean, compared to the behavior of the human beings in this motion picture, the monsters are the most plausible fucking part. I mean, it's crazy, but it's true. I don't even know what to say. Also, this movie is not what you think it's going to be. It is slow-paced. It takes an hour before you even get to like the little hideous creatures, except for like a hand jumping in a scene every now and so often. There's no car chases. There's no real gunfights. There's no monsters. There's no nudity. There's all that stuff is completely missing from the scene. And an hour in, finally, the monsters start to pop up. This movie, to me, is like a mishmash of humanoids from the deep and them. And it's just thrown together in the most crazy, haphazard way I think I've ever seen a motion picture do. When it had the budget to, even though they were younger in their careers, have that much talent thrown into the screen on there, and then have the rest of it just weirdly fall apart around it. Now, here's the part that's really going to throw you. You're going to be like, why are you reviewing this? And why are you even recommending this shit to me? Because it sounds like you've been ass-dogging it for the last 15 minutes. Well, that's kind of partially true. But C.H.U.D does have a little special place in 80s horror. Everybody kind of liked it at the time. Strangely, we all got into it. We all thought it was fun. We all thought it was goofy. Everybody liked watching it. It was a good time. It was like an hour and 40 minutes so you could sit down and just fucking veg out and take this shit in. Don't expect much. Don't think you're going to get much. Be happy with what's handed to you. Laugh at all the mistakes. Laugh at the goofiness to it. And just enjoy yourself. It's that kind of movie. Again, this is not one of the ones where I'm running out the gate saying to you, you gotta fucking see this. How did they miss this? It's one of those motion pictures that's around, it's on the scene, you can Amazon Prime it any day you want, and just look back at a time when it was still okay to make cheesy, goofy, 1980s, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, monster movies. Oh, before I go, I almost forgot. My favorite thing in this motion picture. Now, I don't drink, okay? I don't get into that kind of stuff. I'm really, really kind of boring and straight-laced. But if there's anybody out there that plays drinking games, or stripping games, depending on what you and your friends are into that evening, literally, this motion picture, they say the name Bosch more than any name I've ever heard uttered in a motion picture before. I know in Runaway I made fun of Gene Simmons always saying, Ramsey, but this shit takes the cake. They say the name Bosch, at least, I can't add it. I can't even add them up. Daniel Stern alone says the name like 70 fucking times, and everybody around, Bosch, 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 Bosch. One, it's the weirdest fucking name I ever heard. Number two, it's non-stop through this motion picture. Bosch, 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 Bosch. I mean, literally, you could get a room of 78 fucking people tanked if they were playing a game to this thing. It is utterly goddamn ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. Anyway, folks, go watch C.H.U.D. Watch the other shit I've recommended first. But when you get around to it, and you're hanging out and having a good time, pop C.H.U.D on your television set. It's a little walk down memory lane for anybody in the 80s. If you're a new person looking back then, you might look at it like, what the fuck? But If you're of my generation and you can sit there and say, holy shit, C.H.U.D, what the fuck? Play, then you're probably going to have yourself a good time. Everybody, go out, have a good time, take care of one another, look out for each other, be safe. Crazy world out there, folks. And more than anything, never take no bullshit from nobody. Take it easy, guys.